And you have to make sure that you have a brand that resonates your story, right? Why? There should be why. You should not be just coming up with any just logo and start your company. I think if you think about why are you starting your company and what's your story, and come up with the brand according to your story that resonates everything, and start producing content. Obviously you should have website and social media presence. That's great, but the way that you're going to position yourself, it's everything.
Welcome to the Kooler Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kuehlhorn, and I'm excited to have you join me as I interview community members and business leaders from the communities in which I live, work, and serve through my business Kooler Garage Doors. We're going to bring you highlights on characters in our communities. Why? Because community matters, and I want to know more about who is behind our business and leadership in order to understand and support the community fabric that our relationships make up. And collectively, we can build stronger communities that support our lifestyles, our youth, and our health.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kooler Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kuehlhorn. Today, I have the opportunity to sit down with Mandeep. He's the owner of GrowNearby and the host of Born for the Trades. Mandeep, I'm really excited to have our conversation today. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you, Matt, for inviting me to your show. I'm excited. I'm stoked.
Yes, sir. You have caught my attention in social media, and I'm going to tee it up with the question I ask everybody. Where did you grow up?
All right. So I grew up in India. I born in India, and I did my schooling and my college, back in India. I was into IT for almost 9-10 years. Okay. Started my other agency there back in India. It's like content writing agency. And yes. So that's India, yeah.
And where are you beaming in from today?
Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. So what's the story of growing up in India and landing in Tampa, Florida?
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. And I have a story I can share it.
I believe it.
Yeah, it all started with my first company, which is content writing agency back in India, and we had a lot of clients across the globe, like Australia, US, Canada, everywhere, and we were getting so many clients, but we had a lot of clients from the US side, and we were providing as a content writing agency content to the marketing companies here in the US for home service companies like HVAC, plumbing, electrical. Yes. So it was so good to work with contractors back in India, staying in India and running your agency, and it was so good. I found that this niche, home service niche, is so good that you can provide a lot of value. You can do you can provide content, you can do SEO, and how it helps. It was very fascinating to me. And then one day my wife, she got one opportunity to go to the United States, for her work. And we decided to, just come together here in the US. We landed in Buffalo, New York back in 2015. So it's close to 8 years. She landed her job there, and I came with her, and we decided, okay, we're going to start this new journey. And I reached out to one of my clients, if I can work for them. And they hired me as a SEO director. And that's how I got started there. And I worked as SEO director, and then I become VP of marketing, and I become national speaker for big manufacturers out there here in the US. I worked for that company for 5 years, and then something happened, and I wanted to provide more value. That company that I worked for, they went in a different direction that I could not see myself following, and started my own journey, GrowNearby. And I'm a big fan of Gary Vee, hustle hard. And that's how it got started. I was listening to him day and night, I consumed his content day and night. And I built this company, GrowNearby, from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And then one day, right before COVID, I went all in into my business. I asked my wife, like, I'm making 1x, like, I'm beating my salary 1x, 2x. Shall I go all in? She said, why not? And February 29th was the last day where I was working at that last company, leap year. And right before COVID, I had no idea what's going to happen, like in this COVID. What is COVID, right? Like, I had no idea. It was all leap of faith. I went all in and never looked back. Now I have full rights. I can go above and beyond. And we are going above and beyond for contractors across the country and making it happen for the trades family.
I love this, man. So February 29th, 2020 is when you left your full-time job to jump ship into your own ship. Man, what a ride. That's a crazy time. Like, just to reference, because, it's almost like COVID kind of hit the country at different weeks in some regards. But that was literally like the week after, a couple of weeks down the road, shutdown started happening and all this uncertainty came about. So I can only imagine. What does GrowNearby specifically offer trades companies? How would you define that?
Sure. So GrowNearby, we are a full service marketing company. We do custom websites, no cookie cutter templates. We're still doing custom work, websites, social media, SEO, pay-per-click, email marketing, you name it. And we have specific niche. We work with HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and now garage door. Door. We recently added, another niche, garage door and pest control. So this is what we do, like custom work, and we understand the needs and goals. It's very, very custom tailored, solution we have. And we have like solutions that's gonna hit the goals, like revenue goals. And on top of that, it's not something that, you just companies pay us and, forget. No, we want to engage contractors, trades family to work with us, every week, every month, by participating them in getting, Google reviews, job photos. And on top of that, we travel across the country on our dime to meet our clients. And why we do that, that separates us, from others. But the thing is that I think it's in me. Empathy is in me, it's in my DNA. And our core values are empathy, positivity, and data-backed results. We go out, we build relationships, we spend a couple of days with our clients to understand their work culture, their team, so that we can get to know more about their team, their work culture, and we get to know more. My team gets to know more about them, and we come back with okay, we have built that relationship. Now on top of that, we have got media, videos and photos, which is very, very, I think, important to have authentic, media on the site so that, customers can connect with their brand. And that is helping a lot. And I'm very proud of what we're doing and the impact on this home service industry.
I love that. I've noticed you've used the word family quite often. How important is family to you?
That's a great question. So I grew up being in the trades. I connect the dots. My dad was into trades, and my dad was into, construction. I would say, have you familiar with aluminum windows fabrication?
Yes.
So my dad was into it, and I helped him. When I was 9 years old, I used to go out and help him and all the projects, and we used to knock it out together. Sometimes he's not there, but I used to go out with my grandma, so that's in my DNA. And I feel like, I started my career in IT, and then I started my company, content writing agency, and then I'm connecting my dots that I got here in the US and working for a marketing company and serving HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and then started my own company. Then I connected the dots, and I think I am born for the trades, and this trades is my family. Home service is my family, because I'm passionate about every single day day and night. And I know, like, we have family and everything. Mind is always there. Okay, this is our client. We need to launch this website, this campaign. We gotta go out and meet this client. So I'm very passionate, and I feel like I'm part of this family. And the love that I have received over the years is phenomenal, Matt.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I'm very grateful every single day to be part of this family. So this means a lot. So home service industry is like my family because
Yes.
I connect a lot of things.
I think that's what attracted me to you and your social pieces, Mandeep, is the authenticity and the passion. And
Thank you.
it sounds like you grew up, as a young person being a helper, and you're continually helping. I mean, does that resonate? Are you a helper at your core?
It definitely resonates because that is everything got started when I was kid, like, going out, like, helping, technicians, installers, and getting the materials from the shop and coordinating. And
Yeah.
I think it was there, like, from the beginning, like, from my parents' side, from my grandma, to, help people. And it's in our culture too, to help people as much we can. And that is something, I always resonate. Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Hey everybody, this is Luke from Kooler Garage Doors. Just want to take a quick second to talk about our sponsor, Sommar Garage Door Openers. We believe Sommers are the best in the business when it comes to garage door openers. We always recommend them for residential installs because of the many features they have, such as Wi-Fi connectivity and safety features like a fixed chain that runs along a secure rail for a quiet and safe operation. Click the link to find out more about Sommar Garage Door Openers.
All right. So you mentioned a mentor, Gary Vee. One of the things I've heard Gary Vee talk about, and this is going to drive the next question, is
Sure.
how important it is for brands being built on social. And then maybe he's framed it to the extent of like brands do get built on social. And so if I'm not actively building a brand on social, like how ineffective is that brand going to be? What have you noticed, working in the digital space around that, around building brands in social? And, the second component of this question is like, how might a listener take some actions to building their brand on social? So 2-point question. What's the effectiveness of it from your, perspective? And how might some practical steps be taken towards building a brand on social?
Absolutely. And shout out to Gary Vee. Like, I'm always like, inspired and, pumped when he talks about, like, he motivates me every single day. But he is actually like talking about this, like, branding. You are the brand. If you have your company, which is great, but the way you position yourself on social media is everything. And that's what exactly I did. Like, I've been like, producing content when it comes to, GrowNearby. We are producing a lot of content on social media platforms, but you are the face. The owner is the face of the company. The thing is that you have to keep producing content on social media in the form of video, audio, text, or, graphic. You got to go out. Brand makes you stand out. But the thing is that people think about the brand is just all about logo, right? It's
Yes.
it's not just about the logo.
Yes.
Branding is very deeper into it. And you talk about the branding in the home service industry. Look at branding guru Dan and Tennelly, right? What amazing, phenomenal brands like he's creating. And you have to make sure that you have a brand that resonates your story, right? Why? There should be why. You should not be just coming up with like, any just logo and start your company. I think if you think about like, why are you starting your company and what's your story, and come up with the brand according to your story that resonates everything, and start producing content. Obviously you should have website and social media presence. That's great. But the way that position the way that you're going to position yourself, it's everything. This is what entire world is going to look at it. What kind of content you're producing, or what, like, what kind of work culture you have, what are your core values. So this is definitely, very important to, have a brand, but there should be a story to it, and start producing content every single day, whatever you are comfortable with. Start with, like, producing maybe graphics, and then maybe, get comfortable with videos. And I always talk about, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes. That's a great tip right there. So diving into that, creating content a little bit more, if
Sure.
a listener is not already in front of a camera, like, one of the things is just to get comfortable moving that thing around. I mean, we're talking about stills, but I think what's super effective these days is video content.
Right.
And so for a typical home trades, where would you have people start? Are we talking about like little DIY stuff? You had mentioned work culture and kind of bringing in the camera and I mean, really, I guess some people might be wondering, do I need a media company to follow me around like Gary Vee has sometimes? Or
Right.
is it easy enough to flip the phone? What would you say to any of those?
Right. That's a great question. And I think every company owner, or, we overthink. I used to overthink as well. Like, we need like fancy video production, fancy, setup. And on top of that, we need a video guy. I do have a video guy. He's amazing. But the thing is that technology has become so available. Like, you can use your iPhone, you can use your smartphone and just turn on your camera, maybe selfie mode or other mode, just start producing content, especially for the trades. And I'm glad that you just mentioned about like DIY, what kind of content they should be putting out.
Yeah.
I would say they should, home service industry technicians or owners, they should start by getting the video testimonials, like, job videos. So go out and start documenting. And Gary Vee talks about like, design versus document, or document versus design, right? That don't go after like, you have to have fancy video and then you're going to post, you have to look good. No, just be real and authentic. And let's say, HVAC company or garage door technician goes out, just like film it like 30 seconds or 1 minute. Hey, I'm installing this garage door here in Denver, Colorado. This is what you're doing. So being very real and authentic, and start posting content on social media. And let's say if the job is done, ask the customer like how was the job, like how did he do, and just get like 15 seconds or 30 seconds video testimonial. That is more powerful than anything else in the world. Like if they say like, picture is worth 1,000 words, video is worth million. It is impeccable. It's like, it is powerhouse. This is what I have seen in the last like 2-3 years. I've been producing content. It was not easy. It was not easy, but you get comfortable. Once you start being on camera 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, you get comfortable. The thing is that you don't have to stop. People overthink what others gonna think about you. What if others gonna judge you? That's their job. Do your job, keep producing content, and that makes you stand out from others. And I would say these two, creating content when it comes to like going out and documenting the job, whatever is install or repair work, and getting video testimonials like from customers, like, and I have like, shared this with the industry, and some of my trades family, they have already started creating content and posting on social media. They are getting traction, and use $1 a day strategy. If you have got this like video testimonial from your customer, just apply $1 a day strategy. Do you know what is a $1 a day strategy?
No, I don't. Enlighten, please.
Okay, awesome. Dennis Yu, Dennis Yu, right?
Yes, I know that name.
He's the king in the digital marketing industry, and I learned from him. Take out that piece of video content that you have, that video testimonial with your customer, and put out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, everywhere, and use $1 a day. Boost or run your ads. I would say avoid boosting, but run ads with $1 a day, and select the surrounding areas that you want to hit that video, and you'll be the queen of your area. You'll be the queen of Denver, Colorado. You'll be the king of Tampa, Florida, because local people gonna look at it And if you look at it dollar a day, and if you do 5, 10 videos, yeah, you'll be everywhere. And it's called omnipresence.
Yeah.
And if you're running those video testimonials and people gonna look at it, and guess what? It's gonna help. It's gonna help your brand. It's gonna help because everything, the video goes back in the subconscious mind. People look at it, they might be not ready to buy from you right now, but they're gonna start looking into it. Oh, yes, Kooler Garage Door. I saw their video. That guy is phenomenal, and he's producing good. He's doing great job. I'm gonna call Matt today. So so this is the powerful tip and hacks for trades.
Yeah, and that's it, Mandeep. Because if I do a good enough job, having a great, strong representation of a brand that actually can disrupt the market, meaning be different enough to stand out, and then I go in and I start developing this content and I put it into social. What's going to happen more and more is people are going to stop searching for garage door repaired near me, and they're going to start searching for Kooler garage doors and just get to the point, right?
Exactly. And I'm glad that you mentioned about disruption. So we talk about Dan internally, he talks about disruption, create that brand that stands out and create disruption, with your logo, with your truck wraps, when you see it different, with mascot, a different brand, it creates disruption. Same with the videos. That's what I have done. That's what my team is doing, creating content and, distributing over the network. And now people don't search for marketing company or marketing guru. They are searching for GrowNearby. We just got one lead from Tampa, and I know we just work with HVAC plumbing, and we have different niche, but that's painter called me yesterday, and hey, we just found you here. When they search for GrowNearby, because they saw some video somewhere. So
yes.
So that's the power of create disruption, with the help of videos. Start producing content without overthinking.
I love that, Mandeep. And to the point of different channels. So, I mean, there's half dozen more for sure, maybe a dozen. There seems to be a new social media channel every day. So we've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, more and more.
Yes, yeah.
So my question is, okay, so for a listener starting out, it can be certainly overwhelming, but we're trying to break this down. So communicate your brand story, whatever your brand symbolizes in the moment, get after it. And it reminded me of a phrase from one of my mentors, and it's basically anything worth doing is worth doing poorly at first, because you're only going to improve. So the moral of the story here is start documenting, start getting some of the jobs, just make little 30 to 90 second clips, capture them on your phone with whatever you have, get them out there. Now, the question that I'm driving to is get it out there. How do I decide which channel to jump into, or do I need to do them all with the same piece of content?
That's a great question. So you have to, even Gary Vee talks about this, always trade attention. Instagram Reels started with bang. Lot of people, a lot of influencers, born, and they were creating content and they're making money, and then algorithm fades away. It actually starts traction goes down. But the thing is that right now, the number one platform, I would say Facebook Reels is phenomenal. Facebook Reels, you create video content, start posting on Facebook Reel. Just let's say, start with one a week or one a month, and next one do 2 a month, and then, one a week, four reels a month, and, 48 reels a year. Even that's enough. At least the content will be out on Facebook. Number one platform is Facebook Reels. Second, Instagram Reels, and third is your TikTok. And you never know. Make sure TikTok. A lot of things going on about TikTok. You have to make sure that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. No, you have to make sure that you have Facebook Reels, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. That's gonna blow up in coming time. In the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, YouTube Shorts is the next level. After Facebook Reels, YouTube, we can see the trend. YouTube Shorts are like, we can see the trend. It's trending out there. And we are still like, producing content, but we have to dive into more like analytics, like how can we strategize, but without thinking a lot, if you have that video ready, post the same video on Facebook Reel and, just like post on different platforms as well.
Yeah. I love that. This is a nuts and bolts style question, but is there a demographic striation amongst the channels still? I kind of imagine, Facebook being my generation, TikTok being like just in front of my kids' generation kind of deal. Do we find that to be true, or do you have any insights on the analytics?
Okay, absolutely. I'm just going to ask you one question, Matt, here. Do you know what's the average age on TikTok consuming the content?
All right, my guess would be average age on TikTok. I'm going to go 24.
24? It's 55-year-old, Matt.
Shut the door. Really?
55-year-old. The thing is
that's my customer.
Exactly. Your customers are out there. And, we talk about like, I ask you like, what's the average age consuming the content, right? Creating content maybe like, 12-year-old, 16-year-old, people might think about like TikTok, like, it's all about like, girls lip syncing or dancing. No, your customers out there, more than billion users out there, they are actually watching your content. Your homeowners, your customers out there, start producing content on TikTok, because your homeowners, your audience is there, without overthinking that it's the platform for the teenagers or, that's not true. People are running ads. Even home service industry, they're running ads. It's not there yet. But yes, we also ran ads on TikTok and we generated leads. But, it's going to take time. So people are running ads and they're generating leads from TikTok. And why? Because we can see the demographics, geographic. You can set all the rules. You can filter out when you run your ads, and you can generate leads. But that's far for now. But for now, even if you just like, shoot a video, post on TikTok and repurpose on different platforms, and I think you will see the traction, and always A/B test what works. Maybe start with a hook, something like, maybe you have like some of like, props, use something and, that gets your attention. And even if it's not that, just be real, whatever the work, trades work you're doing, reviews you're getting. And there are influencers in our industry like Plomero in Phoenix. That's our client, and they have got, I think, 2 million or 7 million likes on TikTok, and more than 200,000 like followers on TikTok, and 30,000 followers on Instagram. Like, can you imagine like plumbing company can have this kind of traction? That's phenomenal.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing those stats and the practicality there, Mandeep.
No problem.
Looking out in the future, what are we excited for?
I'm excited for AI. Which, like, where are we heading with this? Chat GPT. This is just the beginning.
Yes.
And I was the first one to ask Gary Vee, and Gary Vee actually posted first podcast and first video on YouTube, because I asked him like, about ChatGPT, where ChatGPT is going. And he definitely shared that it's great to implement like, for use ChatGPT for your social media content, blogs. And we are not there yet to produce like, website content. I won't recommend, but you get so many ideas, like, what are the top, keywords for garage door company in Denver. So it will give you all the best keywords that you can use in your blog. You can create content, DIY tips, and you can make some tweaks and use on social media. You can actually give a command to create like, Facebook Reel script, even the TikTok Reel script. Like, it's great beyond our imagination. Where are we heading? I'm very excited about that. And I'm working on a top secret product that will definitely help this home service industry, my trades family. And we are expecting to launch that in 3 to 4 months.
Awesome. I'll be excited to see what that top secret is, man.
Sure, you gotta just wait, and
Yeah, fair
we'll
enough.
be out shortly.
I'll try. I'll work my patience. I'm patient. Mandeep, you've given a lot of really good value in this podcast. I've got my own notes. And I love the insight with ChatGPT. Like, that is a tool. And I love your suggestions on how to utilize that. And so just to summarize a little bit of what I heard for listeners, like, it's use it to help create content, not necessarily to create content.
Right.
Like, maybe a blog post could work. However, you're suggesting to throw questions in there, to ask about keywords for specific regions, ask about, potential script and idea for a reel that can gain traction, or that TikTok video. So I love that perspective. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
For listeners that want to reach out to you, Mandeep, how do we get a hold of you? Where do we find you?
All right. You can reach out to GrowNearby.com, GrowNearby.com, GrowNearby.com/schedule. And, if you want us to create your digital marketing roadmap, we are here to help, and we can create your entire year roadmap. I'll be on Zoom, and I can create that, and would love to help. So you can find me on Facebook too, Mandeep Pala. But I would say if you come to our website, yes, that's the best way to connect with us.
Awesome. And your podcast, Born for the Trades, tell us about that briefly. And are we going to find that on all the podcast channels?
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm so excited about what's going on with the podcast, and I'm the host of Born for the Trades, a home service podcast, and my amazing co-host Shreya. And we one day, we were in Vegas, and we just thought about, hey, I just reached out to Shreya. She has got amazing experience. Looking at her age, she's just 23, and she's going above and beyond for the trades. And look at her experience. Overall, she's phenomenal. And I said, this is going to be a great fit if we can collaborate together for the podcasting. And she said yes. And we came up with this name, Born for the Trades, a home service podcast, because it resonates, because the core values. She works for Service MVP Joe Crescera, that.
Yes.
And, America's sales coach. And GrowNearby, Service MVP, core values match. And I think it's a perfect match to provide value to the home service industry by inviting guests. When it comes to guests, we are inviting the entrepreneurs, those who are crushing in the industry, coaches and vendors. And obviously we qualify. A lot of work goes behind the scenes that I'm sure it. And Shreya and we are reading books. We are, talking to the guests before the podcast so that, we can provide more value. I know there are a lot of good podcasts out there.
Right.
And what makes us unique is providing more value. And we have some emotional intelligence, emotional questions as well, asking about the story, not just showing the fancy face of the, guest or anything, how you got here,
Yes.
There is always a story of even you must have your story. I have my story. We gotta share. Sometimes we don't share it, right? But that's our goal, to provide value to our listeners. And that's what we have been doing for our podcast. And we have recorded 10 episodes so far, and we have more guests lined up from the trades.
Love it. Mandeep, I really appreciate you, man. This has been a fruitful conversation. I hope the listeners take notes, because there's a lot of practicality that can come from our conversation together. And as we close, any final words? How do you want to sign off?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say I think soft skills are missing in every
Right.
business,
Great.
and have empathy. Deploy humility, and be kind, and always just reach out to your team, and have one-on-one meetings with them, and start producing content. Your brand is everything. Start producing content in the form of graphics or text. It's okay. And then get comfortable with video. Start producing content with video. And I can tell you, home service industry, we have a very few people in the industry producing content. Share your story, and share your brand story, and start producing content. And I really want to empower the entire home service industry, and I want to bring this revolution where all the home service companies they're producing video content. That's my goal in the next 5 to 10 years. And for the listeners, yes, please start producing content.
Beautiful. We're going to include your website into your GrowNearby and
Appreciate it.
your podcast in our show notes. So please do reach out to Mandeep if this has engaged you. And as you heard him say multiple times, start generating content. It's worth it. I can guarantee you. And just like you mentioned, Mandeep, there's not that many people doing it. So the bar is low for now. There's
Exactly.
a real opportunity for the trades to step in and not only just share the story, but also step up the game, right? Because then everybody else starts stepping up. So,
Right.
yeah, my friend, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. You are so kind, generous, and I'm glad that we got connected on social media. And let's stay connected, and let's keep empowering other people in the trades.
I love that, my friend. I look forward to hanging out with you in person very soon.
Absolutely. Likewise. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the Kooler Lifestyle Podcast. We count on your subscriptions, your likes, your shares, and I encourage you to do that now. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, lower right-hand button. If you're on audio, download this, share it, and we look forward to having you on the next one.